Hey, what's up guys? This is Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100%finance.com. Checking in with you guys, Mr. People's Mentor, Mr. Cashflow, Mr. I got what you need to succeed. Checking in with you guys just to talk about ways that you can quickly make money if you don't have any money. No money? No problem, man. You don't need it. You might need a little start of money, but this is just another alternative to get money with no cash or credit necessary and without having to spend a lot of money on a marketing campaign like with wholesaling. But it's a slight twist, slight difference. It's in regard to property management, managing properties for others, okay? So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of how you can make money, all right, without having much money. Property management. Okay, so before I get started, make sure you do your research in regard to your local laws, in regard to if it's required in your locality to have licenses. You have to be aware of the rental laws, and as well as landlord-tenant complaints in regard to filing eviction, because as a property manager, you may have to do these things, okay? So I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. But property management is basically you managing someone else's property. As someone once said, I think it was John D. Rockefeller, it's all about control, not necessarily ownership. Okay, as long as you have control over an asset, you can make money off of that asset without necessarily owning that asset. Okay, these are some of the things that I've done and I'm currently doing. I'm currently managing another lady's property. It's a townhome in Smyrna, Georgia, in which she is a out-of-state landlord. So she needs someone who's physically there. Me, I'm like 15 minutes away from the property, to be her eyes and ears of the property. And some landlords, they just don't want to deal with tenants. They'd rather own real estate, but not necessarily manage it. They hate to receive calls or texts at 2 in the morning, like I just did last night. I had a tenant text me at 2 in the morning saying that her power tripped because she had too many items plugged into the wall. I'm like, this is not an emergency. You know, she still had outlets that were working. Maybe 2 or 3 outlets to the TV went off. And guess what? I had to get on her case, letting her know, hey, respect my time. Contact me during normal business hours. And she was apologetic, but those are some of the things you have to deal with property management, okay? So you gotta have some type of temperance, the right personality for this business. All right, but do I mind it? No, that's 2 in the morning, what was I doing? I was sleeping. So it didn't bother me. Until I woke up, that's when I got pissed because I saw I got a text. So it's not like it disturbed me in the middle of the night, but it's just the fact, the principle. It's the principle, people. Okay? So what you can do is you can release some of these stresses, if that's the right word, stresses, from these property owners. Okay? Via property management. So I'm going to show you very quickly how you can do property management. Okay? Alright, so what you should do, based upon your area, you should look at for rent signs, Craigslist, and if you got a little bit of cash or access to a list, direct mail. Okay, so for rent signs, you drive around your neighborhood. If you see any property that has a for rent or for sale by owner, something like that, call the person. And if it's the owner that you're speaking with directly and not another property manager, tell the owner that you have a property management company and that you're willing to manage the property for them. Okay? Because sometimes a landlord, or owner I should say, just to keep my terminology correct, the owner may have a ton of properties and they might have other businesses as well and don't have time to do the leasing aspect, showing the property to tenants or knocking on the tenant's door, just doing an inspection, a quarterly inspection. Or don't have time to, or don't even have the patience to take phone calls from tenants' complaints and concerns, or to follow up about rent, or post notices on the door, or show up to court to evict the tenant. But you have the time. Because what is it all about, people? It's all about what you bring to the table, right? If you have no money, you have no credit, you can still make money off real estate. You have to bring your time to the table. You have to bring your knowledge and your expertise, your resources. You got to bring something to the table, okay? So you make this be known to the property owner. And the property owner might be saying, yeah, I would love for you to manage it, or at least assist me. You know, I can take the tenant's phone calls myself. But hey, if you can assist me with being a leasing agent, just showing the property to the tenant, and I pay you a full month's rent for your services if you find me a tenant, I will gladly do business with you. And the only thing you had to do was just happen to be aware of for rent signs in your neighborhood. So that's one way. Another way is Craigslist. What you can do, either you or your assistant or whoever, you can go through Craigslist and look for rent properties that's been on Craigslist for a long period of time. I would say maybe over 30 days since the ad was created. It could be even 3 weeks since the ad was created. Basically, any old Craigslist ads that do not have a property management on there. So you look at the body of the ad, make sure it doesn't say managed by such and such property management, and you contact these people and you introduce yourself. So you have to be instrumental at cold calling. Okay? So don't be afraid here. If you want to make money, you gotta have some courage. Because like they say, scared money don't make no money. Don't be scared, okay? Cold call some of these people. Who knows? You can get some deals going right there. Just manage the property. Get a monthly income. Okay? Percentage of the rents. And if you find a new tenant, you can probably keep the whole check as your commission for finding a tenant as your fee. Alright? And direct mail. If you do have a little bit of money, and let's say you are a wholesaler, or you're starting wholesaling, you can mail out postcards or yellow letters, what have you, to out-of-state landowners. Not corporations that are out of state, because it's hard to find a person who controls a corporation. If they have a property in the state or city where you're in, and they have a different mailing address to an individual out of state, then those are the people you want to target. Okay, so you send them out some type of mailing, direct mail, and if it's in regard to wholesaling, great, and they contact you, and let's say it doesn't work as a wholesale deal. Let's say there's no equity, they're not really that interested in selling, or let's say they are getting a nice cash flow, so they're not trying to sell, but being that they are out of state, they may be more willing to give property management over to you. Because they could be disgruntled from the current property management, which was in my case for the property that I'm managing in Smyrna. She had a property management company in which they were very uncommunicative with her, and the tenants expressed the same concerns. And she's the type, the owner, that she wants her properties well taken care of. She is definitely not a slumlord, okay? She wants the property taken care of, but she had concerns that it wasn't being taken care of with the tenants in there because the current property management that was in place was not being responsive towards her. They would not update her. They would take days or even weeks to communicate anything with her. And they would nickel and dime her. Charge her for this, padding, expenses from other contractors. And she just wasn't happy. So being that I, myself, and the owner in another state wasn't able to come to an agreement to buy the property at a discount, you know, so I can either wholesale it or keep it in my portfolio or perhaps even flip it, we decided, hey, we could still be of assistance to you because we do our own property management. And I myself am a landlord out of state. I know how frustrating it can be to have a property in another state in which you can't see every day. So you want to have someone there to be your eyes and ears on the property. I get that. And I'm telling her this, why? To gain rapport. I feel you. I'm with you. I'm just like you. However, I figured some things out and created some systems and got teams in place. That's the only difference. But hey, I'm here to help you. And guess what? She fell for it. And it's not like I'm trying to hoodwink her or mislead her or anything like that. Okay? I'm basically told her I'm here, or we're here, to take care of you. We will treat this property like it's our own property. In fact, we will even take videos of the property just so you can see what it looks like. We even talk to the tenant for you and have the conversation recorded so you know what's going on. We'll take care of the property. You listen to what the person's concerns are and you provide them with those solutions. Okay, and just make sure that you look reputable. Have the company incorporated, have some marketing material. If possible, you might not have to have all that extra stuff, you know, like your own email and this and that. You can just use a Gmail account or a Google Voice number, but just have something that makes it seem like you're legit. Okay, not like some mom and pop. And these are low cost, okay? Less than, depending on where you're at, maybe 200 bucks, okay? So you can do direct mail. Oh, I dropped my marker, 1 second. Fumbled, all right? So you can do direct mail. That'd be a great way to get business, you know, being that these people are out of state and need someone there physically to manage the property effectively. So next thing is the leasing agreement. So if you found someone, an owner that says, hey, I want you to manage my property, you need to basically have these two agreements. A lease with the new tenant. You know, if you find a tenant, you have to create a lease. An agreement between you and the owner in regard to managing it. So you have an agreement again with the owner, and that your property management company has a lease with the tenant. Okay? So you got to make sure you have those things in place. So at 100% Finance, we do have samples of those documents. We use them in the state of Georgia, but you could probably use them in other states as well. But always CYA, contact or consult your attorney, you know, cover your assets, so to speak. But you want samples, we only provide those to the people who are enrolled in our paid membership. So we'll go over those contracts and show you how to use them so that you can benefit from it. And membership is cheap, people. Very cheap. Excuse me. So make sure that you sign up so you can get copies of those leases. And we also, what we do is we have meetings twice a month via phone, teleconference, and we'll go over it. So if you're a person who doesn't have capital, doesn't have cash, doesn't have the credit, but want to get started in real estate and you do have some time, sign up. And we'll show you how to do it. And again, these are things that I'm doing right now just to make extra buck. It's not like I need it, but why not make extra money if you can? You know what I mean? Why not? That's why I love real estate. And difference between being an employee and an entrepreneur, I give myself a raise anytime I feel like it. You know, I just do a little more work. This is easy work, property management. It's not like a tenant calls you every day with a problem. You know, they call you every once in a while. Only when there's a maintenance issue, which you don't have to do the maintenance yourself. You contract it out to a handyman or a general contractor, or they call you about the rent. Simple. All right, so payment. You gotta make sure you get paid, right? That's very important. So the way you get paid on property management is you receive a monthly fee, difference by the locality. I charge ranges between 8 and 10% of the gross rents received, and you get a full month's rent if you lease the property to a new tenant. Okay, so that's the way that you get paid. So if the apartment is leasing for $1,000 a month, you get $100 a month off one property. And the only thing you have to do is occasionally make a visit, which you could charge the owner again if they want you to do extra visits to the property that's not outlined in your agreement, then you charge them for that. Okay? So the agreement has all that stuff. Fees that you should charge for this and that, outlines the whole thing. Okay? And that's it. So you might make up $1,000 a month rent. You might make $100 a month just for the management fee, and you find a tenant that's $1,000 right there. Easy. And I would say be different. What makes us different is that we ourselves are property managers. We have our own portfolio of properties that we manage. Okay? So we understand the concerns of managing properties for other owners, especially those who are out of state. Because I myself own properties out of state. So I can really cope with them and identify with them. So be different by providing them with consultation. Tell them ways of how they can increase their revenue. Whether their property is under rented. Whether they're paying too much in their mortgage. They might be paying a 7% interest rate. And they might be able to refinance now at 4.5%. You know, or that they can contest their taxes because their taxable value on the property is way too high. You know, so it sets you apart. You provide them with this consultation, and you can charge them extra fees for that. okay? And don't nickel and dime them. That's me, when I hired a property management company years ago and I decided to do it myself and create a business behind it, that was one of my pet peeves. I was nickel and dime for everything. And I'm like, why am I paying you a monthly fee of 10% and you're nickel and diming me for every single thing? And you're padding expenses. You know, like if the contractor says, oh, I'll change the locks for $150, but then the management company charges me $300 for it. It's ridiculous. So don't do that to your customers, okay, to your clients. Okay, so treat them as you would like to be treated. And they will definitely appreciate that and make sure you get continued business and be an excellent source of referrals for you. And be responsive. I hate if I'm an owner and I'm out of state and I need something done ASAP and you're being very unresponsive and you're not communicating anything to me. One property management company that I ended up firing, I had a tenant in there, paid the rental time in full every month. However, in the state that I invest in, Pennsylvania, like many other states, the water bill is lienable against the property. So if the tenant who's responsible for the water bill, it's a single family house, does not pay the water bill, and it continues to go on, being delinquent, the water company put a lien on my property. So who would end up having to pay it? Where's the fingers pointed? At my buttons, right? At me! I will be responsible for paying it. So I told the current management property, hey guys, the tenant is 4 months behind on the water bill. I've been telling you this, that this need to be paid. I'm not sure if you are relaying this message to the tenant, because I didn't get any confirmation or anything like that, no updates. Therefore, I want the tenant out of here. ASAP. And know what the property management company said? Via email, of course, because they never answered my calls. Well, I assume they talk like this over the email. I don't know. Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to discuss this as a company and get right back at you. Alright? No, it's not alright. And guess what? It took them 17 days. After I said, I want them being evicted, it took them 17 full days for them to respond back to me to say, okay, we will evict them. That is almost 3 weeks, which parlayed into another month of an unpaid water bill. That 3 weeks could have been 3 weeks saved off my time of getting these people out of the property and putting a better tenant in that property. Okay, so be responsive, be communicative, treat the property like it's your own, and be fair with your fees and answer any problems that may arise. Okay? So basically, I started my own property management company because of that. I said, screw this, I'm gonna do this on my own. Even though I do live out of state, I'm still gonna manage this thing. And it works. So you can do the same thing. So again, sign up for our 100% Finance monthly membership. Just go to 100%finance.com. We'll show you how to do all this. And this is easy, people. You can make money doing this. Easy. All you gotta do is just drive around, see some for rent signs, go on Craigslist, call some people. Just gotta bring your time to the table, okay? So I just wanna end with this. It's just a quote that really struck a nerve in me when I first got started, when I was living at home with my mom, graduated from college, and had no money, no job, no credit, no knowledge of real estate. But I remember this quote. It said the difference between a poor person and a rich person. Now when they say rich person, they mean a rich person who was poor yet became rich is what he or she does in his or her spare time. That's really a key. So make sure you use your spare time wisely. Now, it's your prerogative to do what you want with your spare time. You want to watch TV? You want to hang out? Want to chill? Want to relax? Want to do some type of hobby? By all means, it's your prerogative. Thank God we live in the United States of America. You can do what you want with your time, unless you're incarcerated, right? But you can do what you want with your time. But if you want to be rich, use your time, your spare time, not for leisure activities, but for activities that will advance your financial future. Okay? And involve yourself around people who are at the point where you want to be at. Okay, so you can model them, because you become who you associate yourself with. Alright, so this is some final words of wisdom for you guys. But guess what? You're blessed, you're prosperous, you have abundance. Alright, just receive that, accept that. Alright, I'm Juan Pablo. Final thing. They want relief from what? Troublesome tenants, financial issues, uncertainty about what's going on with the property. They might want some quick cash. You know, the property's been vacant for a while and needs you to lease it ASAP. Home is losing money. It's kind of the same thing. Tired landlords. They're tired of being landlords or property managers and they want to outsource that. They inherited the property, don't know a thing about real estate, and need your services to come save the day and burdensome responsibilities. You know, they're just tired of going to check on this, going to court for that, and da 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 da. You can do it for them. Relieve them of that stress. Alright, I'm out. Hope you enjoyed the video.